Vor noch gar nicht allzu langer Zeit folgten der liebe Ian und meine Wenigkeit Batmans Ruf nach London zu Entwickler Rocksteady. Bei Rocksteady wird Batman nicht nur programmiert, sondern scheinbar auch irgendwie gegessen, getrunken und schließlich auch wieder ausgeschwitzt. Jedenfalls scheint er allgegenwärtig zu sein. Außerdem scheint Batman auch in virtueller Form eine große Anziehungskraft auf durchaus attraktive Frauen zu haben. Die werten Mitarbeiterinnen wollten sich allerdings nicht wirklich von uns filmen lassen. Gut, vielleicht wollten sie auch einfach nur nicht mit uns vor die Kamera. Aber zurück zum Wesentlichen. Nach einer kurzen Präsentation, in der es leider nicht wirklich viel Neues zu sehen gab, wurde noch das neue 3D-Feature in Arkham City gezeigt. Da ich mit diesem ganzen 3D-Quatsch nicht wirklich viel anfangen kann, war das für mich jetzt nicht so interessant, den anderen Besuchern schien das Ganze aber doch recht gut zu gefallen. Danach durfte ich immerhin selbst mal Hand anlegen und einem französischen Kollegen im Batman-Combat-Modus zeigen, warum es denn nun falsch ist, Franzose zu sein. Viel Zeit, den Sieg auszukosten und meinen Gegner noch ein wenig zu verspotten, hatte ich aber leider nicht. Im direkten Anschluss gab es Sandwiches, die waren eigentlich ganz lecker, allerdings war die Motion Capture Präsentation dann doch interessanter. Hier seht ihr jetzt nicht irgendeine Frau mit komischen Pocken im Gesicht, sondern die Frau, der Catwoman ihr Gesicht zu verdanken hat. Damit Catwoman nachher virtuell auch ihr Näschen runzeln kann, müssen über 30 von diesen kleinen fiesen Bällchen auf dem Gesicht verteilt werden. Das Tragen an sich soll nicht so unangenehm sein, wie die Dinger nachher wieder vom Gesicht abzupumpen. Also frei nach dem Motto, wer im Spiel sein will, muss leiden. Das Motion Capture von Körpern ist da schon weniger frickelig, dafür allerdings schweißtreibend. Wie sich aus ein paar Pünktchen wieder Linien bilden, die dann wiederum zu einer ganzen Figur werden, ist schon ganz schön interessant. Irgendwann wurde uns dann allerdings unmissverständlich mitgeteilt, dass wir hier nicht mehr filmen sollen und Paul Dini himself jetzt zu einem Interview bereitstehe. Mit dabei war außerdem noch Crocker, der Lead Narrative Designer von Rocksteady. Falls ihr Paul Dini nicht kennt, dann vielleicht seine Arbeiten. Da wären die verschiedenen Batman-Serien, He-Man, ein Arsch voll Comics und ach ja, Harley Quinn hat er auch noch erfunden.
If there was no Batman, there'd be no Joker, and I'd never have met my puddin'.
Hi, I'm Paul Dini.
And I'm Paul Crocker, lead narrative designer on Batman Arkham City at Rocksteady Studios.
And this is Batman. He's not talking right now.
Riddle me this.
I was a little kid when the Adam West show came on for the first time, and there was sort of this ripple effect through the neighborhood. We didn't get the channel. It was that long ago. We didn't get the channel that the Batman came on TV, on our crummy TV. So I went over to a friend's house. He had a color TV, and we watched the premiere of Batman, and it was Batman versus the Riddler, and I'd never seen anything like it. You know, Batman was really cool, and he had a car, and the Riddler was this giggling psychotic, and it's like the best show ever. And then the next week I watched it at home. I got my dad to kind of fix the channel, and he watched it and goes, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen." It's like, "Shut up, Dad, it's really good."
So, I mean, as I grew up, I went from seeing the Adam West show, and then, got into the comic books, and I worked in a comic store for a while, and I loved the movies, and, Batman's just an awesome character that, everyone likes. And then, obviously, getting the opportunity to be here at Rocksteady working on Batman.
Riddle me this.
When I sit down to think about a Batman story, that's always somewhere in the back of my head. How do I get the Bruce Wayne in there? Or at least, even if Batman doesn't have a big part in the story, how can I at least show his attitude filtering through in some way or another? Start from that place. And if it does happen to be a more bizarre story that he's only involved in tangentially, it still works as a true story for me.
Riddle me this.
I was approached by DC Comics about working on a video game, and with Warner Interactive, and we had an initial meeting, and everything just seemed to gel. Everybody seemed on the same page, and I know that when I saw the first bits of conceptual artwork about Batman and his world, it just spoke to me. It's just like, this is a cool take on Batman, and I really want to be involved in this.
Riddle me this.
In general, I have a pretty free hand in coming up with story elements. We talk about it in advance. Every time we do one of these things, we sit down and we put our ideas out. I'll bring ideas to the table, and Paz will bring ideas to the table, and other people are welcome to chime in. There's never really anything that we just can't do. If it gets too far afield from the main story, then we say, probably not a good idea, probably stick that in the back of our minds for some other time. There always has to be some sort of, game element or, through line of the game involved. But usually it's just like, like Pa says, we've been doing this for a while, so we kind of have the rhythm down as to what we can and can't do.
Riddle me this.
It's nice to see Harley Quinn in the games. I wouldn't say it's a necessity that she's in every game, but the Joker is such a key part of each game that it makes sense for her to be there, because the Joker doesn't often take a hand in the action until he absolutely has to. He's more behind the scenes. He's a schemer. He's a planner. He's the puppet master who moves everybody else around. So he needs someone to do the legwork. And if that is somebody like Harley Quinn, a character that people like from the TV show and the comics, it just creates another level of familiarity. I mean, that role could be filled by, I suppose, just a big bruiser thug, But why create some guy when we've got another one here who already has some built-in appeal?
Riddle me this.
How I come up with a Batman story, sometimes it comes to me right away. Sometimes it takes me a long time. Sometimes I'll write something and get all the way done and throw it away and just start again, I think the best Batman stories come when I have gone through some sort of, emotional situation, either something really good or something bad. I mean, Harley Quinn, for example, came out of a story of watching somebody kind of fall to pieces over someone they were never going to be with. I look at something like that, and I look at real people struggling with a problem, and I go like, there's something there for a story. So the best Batman stuff comes from real life.
Zu guter Letzt konnte ich mir dann auch noch meine Batman Beyond Collection von Dini unterschreiben lassen. Die steht jetzt hier, falls es irgendjemanden interessiert. Nach einem kurzen, aber dennoch sehr intimen Moment mit Batman ging es dann aber wieder zurück in die heimische Redaktion.